Bonjour, hola, guten Tag,
Guten Tag.
Guten Tag, konnichiwa, hey up, you're right. Welcome
Bonjour.
to...
Calimera, bonjour.
I'm doing, obviously, for all of our international listeners, I just wanted to make them feel inclusive.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're not just like a English podcast. We want to invite all the nations in to enjoy it. I'm not going to guarantee we're going to do the entire podcast in different languages.
No.
Not like one of them dubbed films they send out where the actors do all the voices for their own roles and stuff in different languages.
Yeah.
Not that good.
No, I don't know enough foreign languages to do a whole podcast in another language.
If you were going to attempt one, though, what would you do? If you wanted to learn one?
I know a little bit of German.
Ah, that's good.
That is very good. Just because that's what I did at GCSE.
I remember you used to say Ausschlag.
Das ist mein Ausschlag.
Das ist meine Stelle.
Das ist meine Stelle. Yeah.
I'm doing a bit of German now on Duolingo. There's a plug for you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's quite good actually. Do it once a day.
Yeah, I did try doing that just before a couple of years ago. Yeah. I used to do it every morning. You know, you could do like 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you just do one lesson a day, pretty much.
Yeah. But yeah, then I couldn't be bothered anymore.
Yeah, the one I learned yesterday was "Mein Käse ist ausgezeichnet." My cheese is excellent.
You never know when you might need it.
Exactly. Yeah. Could be at a farmer's market in Berlin.
Well, exactly. Yeah, or when you're sitting down in a German restaurant.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Excuse me. Coughing away.
Tucking into a big sausage.
Bum. But welcome to our season finale, I suppose, isn't it? Of our first full season. Welcome back, yeah, and we're going to do a Euros special, aren't we? As well.
Yes. Yeah. Eurovision Song Contest this year is very controversial, so we're going to do an hour longer than that one.
There's a few things that need to be discussed from last week's competition.
The Italians take drugs. Why did England get nil points?
Yeah.
Everybody hates us.
Yeah, it's quite simple, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, I've heard people saying, well, we should just put in like Coldplay or the Spice Girls and then we'll win. No, we won't.
Yeah.
No, we won't. No.
Especially not with Coldplay.
No. No. Yeah. It's it doesn't matter who we put there. We're not going to win.
It's getting that bad now that there's talk now that Scotland wants to not only leave the Union but leave us in the Eurovision, so they might have a better chance.
So they want independence in the Eurovision, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, they could do that, couldn't they? Wales could have Tom Jones, or
Scotland have what? Susan Boyle.
Yeah, Susan Boyle. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Isle of Man could have. We're from the Isle of Man.
But yeah, some old woman's choir.
Some fishmonger.
It'd be some fishmongers.
Sorry for any listeners from the Isle of Man.
Yeah. So we're gonna have a look at the Euros, and then we're gonna take a well-earned break for a month, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Before it all starts again.
Yeah, and it's gonna come round quick.
Of course it will.
Gonna blink, and then we're back into it again.
Yeah, I was looking yesterday. Crew Alex have started announcing their pre-season friendlies.
Really?
Yeah, I mean it's in mid-July, I think. Is one of them.
Any interesting ones?
Well, this one's against Stoke.
Ah,
yeah.
Oh, bloody hell, that might be tasty.
Yeah, so that's a decent friendly.
At Crew.
At Crew, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to go to that.
Yeah, so like you said, it'll soon be here. I mean, I think the players are back in training. To be fair.
Yeah, there's none of that thing where the entire team would piss off to Spain for a couple of months anymore, is there?
No.
Especially for Premiership players now, they've got to do the Euros, then they'll have to go on a pre-season tour to God knows where, and well, if that goes ahead this year, I don't know.
Yeah, this is it, isn't it? And I know, like Gareth Southgate was saying, a lot of his players are still involved in club football. So he's only going to get a week with his squad before he has to decide who he kind of cuts from it.
Well, exactly, yeah. So, like, yesterday, United, well, it's Thursday today, so yesterday United played, but there's also the Champions League final on Saturday.
Yeah.
And whenever I think about Champions League final, I always think of coming up to Sheffield to watch it, because we used to we did it a couple of times, didn't we?
Well, yeah, we had a bit of a run, didn't we? It always seemed to be we watched the Champions League final in Sheffield, yeah.
In the common room, Bayern München
versus
Dortmund.
Dortmund, wasn't it? Yeah,
with Klopp.
With Klopp at Wembley, I think, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the one I remember, yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, so there's still a lot of football to be played.
Yeah. Exactly. So we won't be taking a long break.
No, we're just gonna have the month off, aren't we? And then we'll start back and start with our terrible predictions.
Where's our pre-season tour?
We do need one, actually, don't we? I mean, it'll probably be Liverpool.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
it's been so long, hasn't it? And
it has.
It's our favourite watering hole.
Yeah, once the cavern's definitely open.
Yeah,
it's very confined in there, so I don't know. That might work.
Yeah, you're allowed like the band and about 6 people in, I think. The band, 6 people and 2 people on the ber. Yeah,
exactly. That's
at least you get served straight away.
Yeah, true. Yeah, and you have to stand by your pillars.
Yeah. It'll be evenly spaced out. I mean, is the cavern open back up?
I don't know with that one. I think like bars in general are, aren't they, where you can sit inside and outside. But that one is very. There's no bloody air in there, is there?
No.
Even in winter, you're roasting, right? So, yeah, I don't know about that one.
Yeah, but it would be great to like say have our pre-season tour in Liverpool.
Oh yes, definitely. That's what we'll have to do.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to join us and come and watch us on our pre-season tour,
come and watch us. We'll be playing at the Cavern. What's the Ship and Mitre?
The Ship and Mitre first. Yeah,
that's Ship and Mitre first. Yeah,
that's our first match. Is the Ship and Mitre. Then we'll down to the Cavern. Possibly the Albert Dock if we're feeling if we're feeling like it's near payday or after payday or something.
Yeah, we don't normally go down to the Albert Dock, do we?
No, could be.
What's the something house? Pump house.
Shit house.
The shit house. Is it called the Pump House?
Yeah, the Pump House. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite good in there.
That's good for an outside drink. Yeah, lots of randomers and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Watch the world go by.
Yeah. Is Lennon's bar still there?
Oh God, I imagine it is. You know. Yeah, if anyone from Liverpool can contact us and let us know.
Lennon bar, yeah.
Before our pre-season.
Yeah, we went there the week that opened, didn't we?
Yes, we did,
and it was £1 a pint. Do you remember?
Yeah.
On a Friday, and it was like, you got 5 minutes left on £1 a pint, so we got 3 pints each.
No,
like 5 to 5.
It was such a steal, wasn't it? And like we downed them pints, and then we had to get the tray.
Yeah.
Like carrying cows udders under us with a bladder.
Yeah.
Running up Lime Street up that hill.
Oh God, yeah. And that was the day we saw. Was it 1965 Lennon?
Yeah, exactly. So imagine, for the listeners, say like a 40 or 50-year-old builder that comes around your house and then put John Lennon's 1965 haircut on him, black, dyed.
And the circle sunglasses. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. He looked a treat, didn't
he? Yeah. Yeah. It's like the fat Elvis, isn't it?
Yeah. Play that leg, sugar.
When you get playing at Lakeside, and when you get those fat Elvis impersonators, yeah,
exactly. It was a bit like that, bless him.
Yeah, but that was we remember that day well.
Did he have a wife with him or something?
He was with someone, yeah.
Yeah. A very strong sense of bleach and I think her perfume, I think.
Well, that's always a smell in the Cavern toilets, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
we bleach in the guy trying to give you some aftershave for 20p, or a lollipop.
I'm trying to understand foreign graffiti.
Yeah. I mean, we're not painting a very good picture, but it is probably my favourite night out.
Exactly. Yeah, it is. It's. And like I said, anyone wants to come and watch us or join us or buy the drinks, and you're more than welcome.
More than welcome to buy the drinks, yeah. More than welcome.
It's a tot night out.
It's a tot night out.
Or day out, yeah.
It's a I'm into the daytime drinking now more than evening drinking.
Yep, and we'll put the pictures up on our Twitter. Probably get worse during the night, but yeah.
The before and after pictures, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, if you any kind of non-football related things happen in the last month or so, or anything to report?
Well, we're still in lockdown, sort of, aren't we? We still can't properly go out or anything like that, so there's not a lot really to report. Yeah, I've just been, all I've been doing is working and saving, and just trying to understand our season and how it went wrong, so terribly wrong, and that's about it really, to be honest, mate. How about you?
Well, in the last kind of month, I've taken up a meditation.
Have you?
Yeah, that's meditation, not the other one.
Medication.
Medication, yeah. Yeah, I've started meditating.
Awesome.
Yeah, and...
Did you put like George Harrison music on?
No. And some incense. Embarrassingly, when I kind of first was kind of saw incense, it was probably when we used to go to our friend's house in Manchester. I always thought it was a drug.
Did you?
Yeah, I thought you got high off it.
No. Only if you sit too close to it.
Yeah, like you're breathing in the smoke, going, this is good stuff, man. The red one.
Chunga.
This good chunga.
Get some chunga, man. Get bits on that.
Pretending to be stoned, like, where did you get this shit? Oh, just Affleck's Palace, mate.
Yeah. I didn't know they did drugs in there, man.
Yeah, where about? Is it under the counter?
Yeah. Probably would do there, actually.
There probably is somewhere we could get some under the counter, yeah.
Exactly. Can I have a big woolly jumper and a pound of smack?
Yeah. So yeah, I've taken up meditation over the last few weeks.
Excellent. I know basically what meditation involves, but do you have to focus on something, or do you cross your legs?
Yeah, I mean, anything kind of goes with it, really. But I cross my legs, sit in a quiet room, nice and quiet, and you basically get a mantra that you repeat to yourself. So you repeat that when you kind of find your head kind of going off in a tangent, thinking about the washing up you've got to do, or some work you've got to do, or I've got to do this job at the weekend. So it's about it's about clearing your mind, basically, and having a mantra kind of helps that. And I find it helps me quite a lot, actually. Yeah, I've noticed a difference in myself. Whether it's kind of like a placebo effect or whether it does actually have an effect.
Well, it's been around for about 5,000 years or something, hasn't it? So it must be something in it. Exactly,
yeah. And I know that they're trying to promote it within schools now. Because obviously kids getting, more and more and more pressure on them from school and peer pressure and all that stuff that, is never used to be around.
Yeah, exactly. And we have less to do with nature. We have less to do with quiet time. Everything's, especially these phones and everything, it never stops, does it?
Exactly, yeah. And it's it's no wonder that kind of mental awareness is growing. And, it is affecting kids. But yeah, I've found it's helped quite a lot. So yeah, I can only recommend it to people, really.
I might give it a go myself.
Definitely do. It takes 10 minutes a day, and I try to do it like every other day at least.
Tell you what. You do meditation, I do meditation, and you do Duolingo German, and we'll see how we get on.
We'll report back for the first episode of the new season, yeah.
Exactly. So the mantras, does it have to be like a sentence or something? Or?
So a lot of people practice kind of like classic kind of mantras, which are obviously relating back to the origins of meditation. I think like Kiri Kiri's one, and is another one as well, that kind of stuff. The video I watched that got me into it, it's kind of like, the mantra is, I choose, well, what is it? I haven't done it for a couple of days, actually. I choose to let myself go.
I choose to let myself go. So do you say that in your head or out loud?
So initially you just say it in your head, in your mind, and when you're kind of at a point where you're focusing on nothing, you kind of slowly kind of turn it down.
Okay.
And then at the point where you start to think about, I need to make tea tonight, or I've got to drive to there tomorrow, you start repeating the mantra again until it's kind of clears the breath, like resets it.
Oh, brilliant.
And of course,
Okay,
yeah, you can kind of get it. It's almost like that bit before you go to sleep,
Yes.
where you kind of start thinking about elephants on bicycles.
Yeah, exactly.
That weird in between bit, just about it. So it's I can definitely recommend it.
Do you have to cross your legs? Because sometimes when I'm going to cross my legs, I scramble my eggs.
Yeah, I'd go to the doctors about that. No, the first time I did it, I just did it in my office chair, and then I've done it a few times properly, and then in between I sat on the sofa to do it, and I found I just couldn't get my head in the right place. So yeah, I tried to do it legs crossed, like it's sitting in assembly at school.
Okay, yeah, I could manage that.
So
you're gonna have to get some incense though. That's all part of it, that, isn't it?
It is all part of it, yeah. And like you said, you'll probably get some Beatles kind of '67 music on.
Yeah,
you know, George Harrison.
A Buddha.
A Buddha. I have got a Buddha actually.
Yeah, there you go.
I have got a Buddha incense holder.
There you go. You sorted. You just need to go to Affleck's Palace now.
I just need to go Affleck's Palace and stock up on some incense.
You got any the good stuff?
Yeah, sorry, sir.
You know, under counter.
Oh, it's just on the shelf. So,
have you got any stick?
Have you got any stick?
That's what the kids call it these days.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I've been up to the last month.
That's great, mate. Yeah, I've been just been surviving lockdown, watching football. Trying to lose weight, been on the exercise bike and stuff. Yeah. Trying to learn German for no other reason that I'm bored. And it's funny how words turn up in English that are German, like stark. It means strong. And
strong, yeah. Sausage.
Yeah. Sausage, yeah. Schnitzel, bitzel.
Beer.
Mm.
There are quite a few, aren't there?
And beer for bear. A beer.
Yeah, like gut is good, isn't it?
Yeah, die Beer trinkt the beer.
Is it
trinkt.
Trinker, yeah. Ich trinke Wasser.
That's good.
Yeah, it's coming back to me now. Ich esse, that's eat, I think.
Yeah, ich essen, yeah.
Yeah.
Or if you're an animal, ich frisst.
Ich frisst.
And in German, the Beatles would be Die Käfers.
Die Käfers. And now Die Käfer. Yeah.
Come give me thine hand, as the song went.
Yeah, the Beatles recorded a few in German, didn't they?
Yeah, they did from the Hamburg days, didn't they?
Yeah.
I Want to Hold Your Hand and...
She Loves You, did She Loves You?
Yeah, I think it She Loves You, wasn't it?
What would that be? Something Liebe? No.
Sie lieben... Ja.
Sie Liebe, ja.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. Should we talk about football?
Do we have to?
Do we have to?
Ramble.
I know.
Little segues.
Yeah, we should perhaps just do an hour of rambling.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
A podcast.
We could do it.
Let's get ready to ramble.
Let's get ready to ramble. It'd be a good idea. Yeah. Talk of the Terraces brings you Let's Get Ready to Ramble.
Yeah, let's get ready to rabbit.
Yeah. So I think we're just going to kind of review the season, aren't we?
Yeah, kind of a high-level view over the season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just kind of just look at kind of the highs and the lows across the Premier League, and then we'll kind of look at the rest of English football and a quick look at the European leagues.
Yes.
So obviously Manchester City are the champions, which was kind of been nailed on now for a few months, hasn't it?
Have you seen them lift the cup?
I've seen a couple of pictures.
It's gone so under the radar, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. It has.
I've not been funny because I'm a Liverpool fan, but it's just not been. I didn't see it in the news. I didn't see. I mean, they've still won the title. Yeah,
no, you're right. Actually, I've not seen anything on the news or anything really. I've just seen the odd picture on kind of Twitter or floating around. Really, yeah.
I just remember the coverage when we won it last year, but that might have been because of the 30-year thing. But, yeah,
maybe, and obviously it was kind of in the middle of COVID, wasn't it, as well? I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it was such a relief for for fans, really.
Yeah, for football to get going again and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's kind of strange, it is.
Yeah, it's strange. I mean, it's even more strange as we were looking at the tables at Christmas time and we thought Man City were out of the Championship race.
Oh, yeah, they're well behind.
Yeah, and we were talking about this thing of they were going to concentrate on the Champions League.
Yeah, exactly. Which they did, but then they decided to just
concentrate on the league as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and they did brilliantly.
Yeah.
It was well deserved winning the title. I think for City personally, the massive change was them getting Diaz in defence. A Van Dijk kind of defender.
Yeah,
and it shows what the difference. Like the top three teams have key defenders. Like Man United have Maguire, we have Van Dijk, and City have Diaz. If you take any of them out of the situation, we struggle.
Yeah. That's true, isn't it? And I mean, there was kind of, I think when we spoke about this again in Christmas, there was a hope that Van Dijk might make it back for the end of the season. But where is he? Is he like a couple of weeks away from being fit?
He's actually said now that he's not going to be able to make the Euros, which is a shame for the tournament itself, not to have such a player playing in it. It's a shame for the Netherlands, and it's also a shame for him and everyone concerned. But what he's saying now is he's hoping to make pre-season, so it could be even months more. Yeah,
I mean, the good thing is he's going to come back kind of fresh and fit, and do you know what I mean? He'll hit the ground running, I think.
That's what I was hoping for. Like, when a striker gets a really long injury, it seems as though they're not the same sometimes when they come back. I know it happened to Torres and Owen.
Yeah.
But with a defender, I think you can get away with it a lot more, can't you?
Yeah. It's if you're a defender, you're kind of doing the clobbering.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you're Torres or Owen, then you're the one getting clobbered 10 times a match. Yeah.
Yeah, true. So I hope I want him back, and I think for the sake, even speaking, if it's a non-Liverpool fan, I think it's good for the Premiership to have such a talent back.
Yeah, the more the merrier, really. Although, kind of, it would be nice if City and United kind of lost a couple of their key players next season, and then you kind of
exactly.
you've done a Man City and kind of walk the league. Yeah,
and it'd be nice to get Maguire back as well before the Euro start for United.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. In terms of Man United, then finishing runners up, 12 points adrift, and obviously, as we said last night, it was the Europa League, or I started to call it UEFA Cup.
Yeah, why change it? Why bother? It's the UEFA Cup.
I know, and this is the thing about the Champions League. Yeah. It's called the Champions League, and yet 3/4 of the teams aren't champions.
Yeah, exactly. It should just be. It was called the European Cup before. Why not just keep it as that?
That's it. Let's go back to European Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same in companies, same bloody thing, and they have to change it.
Rebranding it, yeah.
Rebranding.
Yeah, it's almost as if they think people have stopped watching.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is nonsense.
It's the Champions League that's not got champions in it.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, it's very rarely won by the champion. How do you think Man United will now kind of review their season?
Well, Solskjaer's come out last night or this morning and said that any season without trophies is a failure in his eyes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily agree with him on that, considering where they were last season and the fact that you're in the Europa Cup anyway was due to their poor league position. So they've jumped about 5 spaces anyway. So sometimes you've just got to build on it. I
think so, and the big challenge for Man United is they need to win a trophy next season, I think, now.
Yeah, exactly. Even if it's like the League Cup or something like that, they'll need to win something.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, you'd say at a minimum they need to be winning the FA Cup, don't they?
Yeah.
And then, obviously League or European Cup, as we know, not the Champions League, the European Cup. Because this is the thing, isn't it? They've got guaranteed. I'm going to say it now, Champions League football next season.
Yeah.
So if they want to go out and buy 1 or 2 players, they've now got the kind of CV to do it.
Yeah, but that's the problem. Will they be able to?
Well, this is it, isn't it? I mean, this kind of comes loosely onto the point of Harry Kane. And obviously he wants away, or the rumours are he wants away, or he's told the club to seriously listen to offers.
Yes.
A, will anyone be able to afford him? And B, who do you think he'd go to?
Potentially. Do you think? Well, there was breaking news, wasn't there, before we came on air? Pretentious. The Pochettino's Tottenham want Pochettino back from PSG. So. Would that be a sweetener in making Kane stay, that move? I don't know.
Yeah. he's got to be careful because he could end up being the next Alan Shearer.
Yeah.
You know, in the sense that Alan Shearer only won one major trophy, and yet for 10 years he was probably the top 3 best strikers in the world.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, and obviously he was pretty close to signing on the dotted line for Man United just at the kind of start of their powers.
Yeah.
It's going to be the same for Harry Kane. I mean, he's got to move if he wants to win trophies.
Yeah.
That match his ability.
Yeah, would you think he'd go Spain or something?
I mean, I've always thought this. Unless he's got a particular attraction, or him and his family want to stay in England, why not go Real Madrid, Barcelona, maybe Italy, maybe Germany? You know, if I was him and I had no particular desire to play for any other English club or stay in England, I'd want just for the weather.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Go and play in Spain.
I'd think his style of football would probably suit the German league.
Yeah.
In Bavaria, if you went to Munich anyway, you get better weather than here. So,
yeah, it's true. Yeah, I mean, he is a classic old school striker, isn't he?
Yeah, and that suits the German rough and tumble kind of league, doesn't it? So
he scores a lot of headers, a lot of belters, you know, from 20 yards, and then he scores his tap-ins as well. He's an all-round striker, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like Mo Salah, you don't see him scoring many headers, but you see him beating the last man in, you know, kind of bending it around the keeper from, you know, the edge of the box.
Exactly. I'm surprised he hasn't had an offer from Spain, if not one that we don't know about or something.
Yeah.
His style of play is very suited to Spain.
Yeah, and what you're kind of thinking, and you know, Suarez kind of thing.
Yeah,
scenario.
that kind of, yeah.
Do you think he'll go? Or
I don't think so. I don't think he'll go. I think maybe he's smart enough to learn the lessons of others where they've gone abroad and it's really not worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wijnaldum, I don't know where he's going to go.
Is he just run out of contract, has he?
Yeah, he's run out of contract and he's not re-signing.
Right. So that's his decision.
At the end of July, I think, or is it June, he won't have a club.
Yeah. He'll pick up one somewhere, but it's a case of where, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Easy. I think if Coleman's still in... Is it Coleman? I can't remember his name. The Dutch bloke is still in charge of Barca.
Oh, Koeman. Ronald Koeman.
That's it, yeah. Coleman's a different manager. I think the Welsh manager.
Very different, yeah.
What, Coleman's mustard gets up your nose. Yeah, if he was still in charge of Barca, I think he'd go there.
Yeah. Well, I suppose that's a good point, actually. Barcelona have not had the best of seasons, have they?
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. So they definitely need a Wijnaldum in there. And they'd go, hey, Jordan, want you come and eat some pancakes? Pipe and a cripe?
Pipe and a cripe, smoking a pipe. I suppose we kind of skipped ahead to Man United, but if Man City kind of win the Champions League, do you think that's cemented them as one of the top clubs in Europe? Because obviously that's the thing that's been missing from their CV over these last 10 years.
Oh, it's got to be. Yeah, it's if they win the Champions League, it's got to be taken serious as the best club in Europe. It's the fact of the matter. Of winning that competition, that's the kind of credibility it gets you.
Yeah.
Then they'd go on. They'd have a Super Cup now against Villarreal, and also the Club World Cup against. I don't know who that would be. If they won all them, then it'd be seriously impressive. Yeah,
and that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, I think City have won 5 titles out the last 10 years.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They are the dominant team in England.
Yeah.
Now, you know, the 10 years before that, it was Man United probably won 5.
Yeah.
And then the 10 years before that was probably still Man United, but the 10, 20 years before that, it was all Liverpool.
Yeah.
It is all that Man City's missing, like you say, to become the top team in Europe.
Yeah, they're not going to, in about 30 or 40 years on the current trajectory, they're not going to catch up with Liverpool and United in terms of titles. So
no,
they've got to go for other ones where they could catch up, like especially United with 3 European Cups, I think.
Yeah.
So if they win this one, they're only 2 behind. So if I was Pep, I would definitely focus on Europe a lot more than Premiership and just leave the Premiership for us.
yeah, because you want to get back ahead of Man United, yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
In terms of titles, yeah. So in terms of Liverpool, I think as we were talking about last week, you over the last 10 games of the season, you were the informed team.
Yeah. Since the last podcast, if I remember correctly, I was pretty much in despair at the way at what was happening and the way they've been playing, and just couldn't wait to get the season finished. To be honest with you, but then there was there's been a sea change at the club, and I don't know what it is, but it could have been the fact that they've got more of a consistency in defence. Williams and God, I can't. His name's escaped me. Our defender. Oh, no, can't remember. Big English guy, Phillips or whatever his name is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The fact that having them two at the back, and playing regularly together, they seem to have gelled really well. Because one's flighty and the other one's a bruiser, a bit like Gomez and Van Dijk.
Yeah.
So he would track back while the other one would knock him down. And then moving forward, we seem to have found a form again. And I just think it needed the season, the bad luck and everything broke just by winning some games and getting some games and breaking the juju around it, and having a last minute winner. It will definitely do that for you. It'll definitely help you to press on.
Yeah.
Having your goalkeeper score a last minute winner is just unbelievable.
I mean, it's just bonkers, isn't it?
Yeah, I remember years and years ago, Schmeichel did it for United, and I was like, oh my God, he's probably the best keeper ever.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe a goalkeeper could head so well for a start, Alisson.
Yeah.
But I was also so glad due to his personal loss this year and everything.
Yeah.
And the teams have been he's been coming under fire for giving the ball away a few times and causing a few goals. But yeah, it was really impressive.
Do you think you have kind of returned back to your best then the last 5 or 10 games?
I think we've found our form again, but I think we're still a long way from the best. I think I need a couple more signings to reaffirm. I think we need a striker and a defender, definitely.
Yeah.
And possibly a replacement in midfield now as well. So I think the formula's still there. I think the desire's still there, but I think they need to bring in some fresh blood to freshen it up. As you said previously, that's what Fergie used to do. He used to bring in a couple of big names to freshen it up, to put the fear up the other players and stuff.
This is it, isn't it? Yeah. If you want to maintain your position from the season before, you need to be signing 2 or 3 players who are going to fight for the first, the starting positions, I think.
Exactly.
It's no good buying, kind of has-beens to sit on the bench as cover.
Yeah.
You need to be signed. Go on, mate.
I think that was the problem with United last night. They had who they had on the bench was Fred and Mata.
Yeah, I was reading somewhere. What minute did they make a change?
They didn't make any changes until the 105th minute.
Yeah, and that was to bring on people who were better at taking penalties, I believe.
Exactly.
But they were saying that just shows you how much faith Solskjaer had in his bench.
Yeah, that's
that
true.
He wasn't good because they were saying he could have made 6 changes in extra time.
Yeah, you're allowed an extra 1 in extra time, aren't you?
Yeah.
If you used all 5, you're allowed extra 1.
Exactly, yeah. So
extra time.
Just seems, he just looked at his bench and thought, no, there's no one here who's going to win us the game.
Yeah. I think, who was it years ago? I think what he should have done was, it would have been very controversial, but might have won him the game, is sub his keeper.
Yeah.
If you know that De Gea can't save a penalty for Toffee, and you've got another keeper that's probably a little bit better, because that's all you have to do. Like De Gea is an amazing goalkeeper, but he's great at intercepting corners. He's great at parrying and saves with his legs. And everything. Yeah, but he's not a great penalty saver at all.
Yeah,
I think he hasn't saved, or he's saved 1 in his record at United. Right.
So you've got to play to your strengths. If you think that Henderson has got a lot better kind of save ratio on penalties.
Exactly. Yeah, it would have been an insult to him, but I would have subbed him.
Yeah.
That's the kind of decision you have to make when you're a manager. You have to make unpopular decisions.
Yeah, and you are right. I do remember someone doing that in recently.
I'm sure it was Tim Krul or someone like that.
It might have been, yeah. I do. You are right. I do remember someone doing it.
Yeah, and it worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it worked. I think it must have been a penalty shootout or something, and it worked.
Yeah, it does. It does seem strange that, like you said, he was willing to put on 3 players who were best, who were good at taking penalties, but he didn't decide to bring on the guy who's good at saving them.
No, exactly. Yeah, I would have done that. It'd have been a massive boost for Henderson as well, but it would have been bad for De Gea. But at the end of the day, De Gea probably, in hindsight, wish he would have done that because he didn't save any penalties and then missed his penalty. So.
Missed his, yeah. He's not going to be too happy with himself today.
No, exactly. Yeah.
So I mean, Liverpool finished 3rd, which going back a few months ago seemed like a distant dream. Yeah, really, didn't it?
Won the last 5.
The last 5, and as I say, I think there's only Arsenal who challenge you for the informed team over the last 10 games.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I was going to
really good.
Yeah, they come really good at the end of the season as well. I mean, in terms of the 4th spot, Chelsea clinched it. Leicester had it within their grasps.
Oh yeah, that was a fun final day, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, how do you think Leicester are going to review their season? Finished 5th, but they won the FA Cup.
I don't know. I think they probably deserved to get into the Champions League because they played really well this year. But they just had a dire final 3rd, haven't they? The last games drawn, lost, won, lost. Yeah. If you're going to be going for the Champions League, you need to be better than that.
Yeah, and that's the thing, isn't it? Yeah. It's the standout actually. Yeah, Leicester's had terrible form towards the end of the season.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And our old friends West Ham, they nearly did it. Those that relegation,
that relegation battling team.
Yeah.
Who were going down. 6. Yeah. If you don't remember, listeners, we both actually predicted that West Ham were going to
independently. We both thought that West Ham would struggle. Yeah.
Yeah, and go down. But then then they were like 4th or 3rd at one point.
They were right in the mix for a Champions League. Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, oh dear.
Ignoring kind of the mid-table because there's no real surprises in there. Perhaps Everton would have hoped for a better season.
Well, the way they started, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they were above us at one point.
Yeah. I mean, has Calvert-Lewin scored any goals in the last 2 months?
I don't think so. Is he even playing?
I haven't seen his name. Like I say, at the start of the season, that's all you heard about.
Yeah, exactly. He was on fire, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if he's been selected for England.
I don't know. I probably would if I was him.
Yeah.
But the bottom half of the table, we predicted it absolutely brilliantly. They're the ones that went down.
Yeah.
We got T right, didn't we?
I'm just going to have a look. So your original predictions were West Ham, Fulham, and Burnley.
Oh, so close!
So close to 2 out of 3. I went Fulham, West Brom, West Ham.
Oh, you win then.
So I got 2 out of 3 on the bottom 3. In terms of the top 4, I went Liverpool, City, United, Spurs.
Right, that's 3 out. Yeah,
that's 3 out of 4. You went Liverpool, City, Chelsea, Spurs. So you got 3 as well.
Ah, okay.
Not in the right order.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, when we reviewed at half time, around Christmas time, we did another prediction.
Yes.
And we had the same bottom 3, which was obviously Sheffield United because they were, kind of rock bottom.
Yeah.
West Brom, and we both said Brighton.
Ah, right. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, who kind of obviously pulled away from there.
41 points.
Yeah. And we were obviously we weren't allowed to have our final season relegation battle, which was Newcastle versus Fulham.
Oh, well, that's what we wanted, wasn't it? I was keeping an eye out for that game as well.
Yeah, but Newcastle have had a brilliant end to the season.
Yeah.
And pulled clear.
Of all teams in that mix, I'm surprised at Southampton probably. Being quite low.
They started the season well, didn't you think?
Yeah, at least about 11 or something. So, no massive surprises in there. We will have fresh predictions for next season. Yeah,
to be fair, we both predicted throughout the top 4 at around Christmas time as well.
Yeah.
We did. We pretty much averaged 3 out of 4 for the top 4 and 2 out of 3 for the bottom 2.
Not bad then.
But
we win a prize.
We don't win a prize because we predicted West Ham would get relegated. That kind of makes it void.
And neither of us put Sheffield United in the bottom.
Exactly, yeah. We really, really messed up there. So, yeah, I think the big winners are obviously Man City and West Ham, probably, you'd say.
Yes, I'd say so.
Towards the top end of the league. Obviously, Liverpool would have liked to have challenged for the title. But, good end to the season might have, is going to give you some hope for next year, I think.
Yeah, I think Chelsea under a new manager, like I say, West Ham and City have all done really well this season. Yeah.
In terms of, I don't think there's any kind of shocks around mid-table, and I don't think... The only shock is probably Sheffield United. You didn't expect them to fall from 8th to bottom.
No. That is a big fall from grace in one season, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we've discussed it before, haven't we? I'm like, why that possibly was and everything. But...
I think so, yeah. I think they got found out, perhaps similar to Liverpool,
yes.
But didn't kind of buy the players to improve that system.
Yeah, didn't adapt.
Yeah, and maybe that's a similar thing for Liverpool, but not necessarily didn't buy them, but you lose Van Dijk, and then you perhaps didn't get a couple of players that you should have bought, and it kind of,
should have had more backups.
More backups, yeah. Apart from that, I don't think there's any other real surprises within the league or anyone who deserves an extra pat on the back. Yeah, probably West Ham. Leicester, obviously, so close to the Champions League, and they've won the FA Cup.
Yes.
I suppose if City win the Champions League, they will win like the treble light, won't they?
Yeah, a Diet Coke treble.
A Diet Coke treble, yeah.
Yeah. League Cup. Yeah, they're not in the FA Cup. Has the FA Cup final happened?
Yeah, Leicester won it.
Oh, of course they did. Jesus. This season's so messed up because it's always the end of the Premier League and then it's that next Saturday it's the FA Cup final.
Exactly, yeah. It is all over the place. I mean, that Saturday afternoon, I was just looking what was on telly and I was like, FA Cup final?
I know, yeah. That's random.
Yeah.
I think that would be the ultimate for City if they got the quadruple, wouldn't it?
I think so. Yeah, yeah.
League Cup, FA Cup.
Well, they got to the semi-final, didn't they, the FA Cup?
Yeah.
Got beat by Chelsea, I think.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you probably look at the league, and probably the biggest losers this season, I would say, are Spurs.
Yes. Given how they played in previous seasons, and how they are now, and they had Mourinho at the time, you'd think they'd done better than that.
Yeah, I mean, they should have been top 4 minimum, and challenging for a trophy. Obviously, they got to the League Cup final. Yeah, Tottenham are the real big losers, I would say.
Yeah, I don't know what to suggest for Tottenham. Maybe Pochettino comes back, keeps Harry Kane, I don't know. But I think they'd probably need to build again. I
think they need to lose 4 or 5 and start again, yeah.
And keeping Bale I don't know if he's going to go back to Real Madrid now, but keeping someone who's 350,000 on your wage bill is not good business sense.
No, not at all.
I know we got a couple of goals recently, but yeah.
Yeah, I think they need to have a bit of a clear out.
Yeah, definitely. Should we have a break?
Yeah, let's have a break and we'll come back and discuss the rest of the Football League.
And the Eurovision.
Nil point.
Nil point. England, nil point.
Juan Carlos. Welcome to Juan Carlos Tapas Restaurant. Juan Carlos. Come to our restaurant, the best tapas restaurant in all of Pablo de Dudley. Juan Carlos. Come, feast upon my Spanish sausage. Juan Carlos. Come, I will show you to your table. Pull out your chair, then seat your wife and sneakily sniff her hair. Juan Carlos. Come, don't take my word for it. Listen to my customers. Juan Carlos. Juan Carlos is a real gentleman. I told him that I was having difficulty eating my fish platter. He then leaned forward and stuck his finger right into my clam. Wonderful. Juan Carlos. So come, be my guest, eat my food, drink my sangria, and then join me in the hot tub after the meal for one final little portion. Hasta luego, Juan Carlos.
Master Cook is back. It's Britain's toughest cooking competition.
That is a lovely bit of beaver. Ha!
Your pie is really small, but it is lovely and moist.
Ooh, I could suck on this all day.
Oh, mate, this is really hard. I don't know where to put it. Greg Dorris and John McToad are back with 20 amateur cooks, all hoping to be Master Cook 2021.
I tell you what, I've never had one that slippy before.
Just before you do anything else, make sure that fish is wet.
Bingo! That white sauce with that sausage is lovely. It is creamy and it is salty. I can't wait to shove more of it in my gob.
I've got issues with the size of it and the taste. It's too big for me, mate.
Ooh. You want this really bad, don't you? Really bad.
I tell you what, Greg, if she comes first, it'll be a miracle.
Closer it got to my mouth, the more I could smell fish.
I tell you what, I can't wait to lick your bowl. Master Cook 2021, coming soon.
Welcome back to the second part of the podcast.
Welcome back. Gold's laughing at the moment because I just sent him a dick pic. so small.
Yeah, it's not what you want to see while you're trying to record a serious podcast.
Exactly.
About
sorry
football.
about that, mate. I thought it was my doctor.
Yeah, done the old Ian Botham. If you search Ian Botham Twitter,
Yeah.
don't look at Google Images.
Why?
Because he accidentally posted a picture on his Twitter of him in his knob. and people screen grabbed it like lightning before he could take it down. Yeah.
Why was it? Oh, I don't know. Why was he putting that on Twitter?
He was obviously meant to send it to someone because because it's a rather kind of provocative pose as well.
Was it meaty?
Yeah, it's very beefy.
Beefy, that's it. Oh, fuck that
up. People. Yeah, it's like a cricket bat.
Flat.
Flat and really tapered at the end.
Stingray dick.
Oh, welcome back to it.
Welcome back, anyway.
As we just said before the break, we're just going to have a quick review of the rest of the leagues in England and also the big leagues in Europe, aren't we?
Yeah, it's a quick scan over.
A quick scan over. So, obvious the big winners in the Championship are Norwich and Watford. Surprise, surprise.
Aren't Norwich like a boomerang team? It's just like as soon as they're down, they just come back straight back up again.
Exactly.
They usually do really, really well in the Championship and then not so well in the Premiership.
They've got those players who perhaps should be playing in a league in between the Championship and the Premiership. Almost.
Exactly. Purgatory League.
Yeah, but it's not surprising, and I can't remember the stats on this, but it was something like the first 15 years of the Premiership.
Yeah.
Teams who got relegated, on average, one of them come back up within 5 years.
Yes.
And now it's 2 out of 3. And that's all to do with the parachute payments and the extra money. Teams been able to buy themselves back success.
Yes.
And it's not surprising that Norwich and Watford have bounced straight back.
Yeah.
And depending on how the playoff final goes, if Swansea get promoted, that's 3 clubs who have had recent Premiership history.
Yeah, so is it Brentford versus Swansea in the playoff?
It is, yeah.
And
you'd absolutely put your money on Brentford because they are the informed team in that league.
Yeah, last 4 wins, haven't they? Yeah.
Last 4 on the bounce, yeah, and then obviously got to the playoff final. So
they were very close to getting automatic promotion, but they're just 4 points off in the end.
Yeah, and it's mad how football changes. It was only a couple of days ago on the Crew Alex Twitter. It was like, 26 years ago today this happened. And it was Crew beating Brentford in the playoff final to get into the Championship. And
oh my God, yeah.
You can imagine on that day being like feeling top of the world, and thinking you've got one over on Brentford. And 26 years later, and they're on 2 years in a row. They've been 1 game away from the Premiership.
Comes back to bite in the bum, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Was that the game Sean Smith scored in?
It's the Sean Smith goal,
I was there as well, yeah.
Yeah.
First time at Wembley.
Yeah, it was. Obviously, I remember it like yesterday. It was mad, but it just. I was just thinking like maybe in 26 years' time, Crew will be in the playoff final for the Premiership.
I just remember a bloke behind me. He must have been a Queen fan because he kept shouting "Dale" because he was at Wembley.
Yeah, he'd been on the beers and he remembered it Live Aid. Yeah.
Started marched up and down the steps in a vest.
Licking his lips.
Yeah. With his swinging his brolly about. I want to break free.
Hello, darling. No real surprises in the Championship. Barnsley obviously getting into the playoffs.
Yeah.
That there, Barnsley.
Yeah. Quite close to you, isn't it, Barnsley?
It's down the road, yeah. And obviously really close to me is Sheffield Wednesday, who finished rock bottom.
Oh dear.
And we'll be playing Crewe next season. So that's a game I can go to anyway.
Good God, Derby were lucky to survive, weren't they?
Well, the last game of the season was Derby Sheffield Wednesday.
Oof.
Had Sheffield Wednesday won, they would have stayed up and Derby would have been relegated.
And it was a draw, was it?
It was a draw, yeah. So Wednesday were very close to staying up. And Wednesday had 6 points deducted for financial foul play, I think, basically.
Oh, God.
Submitting their accounts late.
So obviously, if they'd done it on time, they would have been in the league still.
Yeah, originally got 12 points deducted. And then it got reduced to 6.
Yeah, like driving.
Like driving, yeah. They attended a driver awareness course and got the sentence reduced.
A club awareness course.
Club awareness course, yeah.
This is how you use a fax machine.
Yes, this is a spreadsheet. This is how you do a pivot table. Sadly they relegated. I mean, it is that thing next season. If Sheffield Wednesday don't finish top of the league with 100 plus points, I think anything less is a poor season for them.
Yes, I think so. Yeah,
they should be able to grab up all of the top players at that level of football. Yeah,
they need to hold on to some of the players they've got as well, don't they? And then...
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Derby, is Wayne Rooney still managing Derby?
Yeah. He's still managing. Yeah. I don't know if he's planning on staying on or if he's going to stay on. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's obviously. I mean, look at that. Four losses in a row and then a draw kept them up at the end.
Yeah. Not great form.
No, I mean, you feel sorry for Wickham. They actually won 3 out of the last 5 and got relegated.
Wickham Wanderers, soft spot team for me because it's the first match I've ever seen. Crewe versus Wickham Wanderers.
Was it?
Yeah.
Crewe Wickham. What was that, back in the 90s?
That was back in early 90s. They still had bars on the stand.
Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah. I'm going to say that. I think Martin O'Neill was probably Wickham manager then.
Really?
Yeah, he used to be Wickham manager Martin O'Neill around the time when I first started going. So I'm guessing that was probably.
Yeah, Martin O'Neill. I was a bit young because I wanted to. I said to my dad I want to leave because I wanted to rent Batman. So I'm probably a bit young to understand what was going on.
Yeah. Martin O'Neill. Yeah, and then he went to Leicester.
Yeah. Who scored? Was it Ashley Ward?
Ashley Ward. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bit of a legend, Crewe legend. Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's any other real surprises. Bournemouth got into the playoffs, obviously relegated last year.
Yes.
I don't think there's anything else really of any note in the Championship. As expecting, obviously, Sheffield Wednesday and Derby are probably surprise teams to be down there.
Yeah, Stoke City and languishing in mid-table and stuff.
Yeah.
This seems to be always the same kind of teams in positions, don't they? Like Queen's Park Rangers and Millwall always seem to be just below the playoff.
Yeah. And that's that thing, isn't it?
I was
going to say eventually they'll have an amazing season or a crapper.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's move on to
your league.
Yeah, Crewe's League, League One. I mean, I don't think there's any surprises. Hull finishing top, and then followed by Peterborough. I mean, you look at the league, and there's some big teams in the league. With Premiership credentials. Your Sunderlands, your Charltons, Portsmouth, Ipswich. Some decent teams in there.
MK Dons, IFC Wimbledon. Swindon Town, I think they used to be in the Premiership.
Yeah, in the original, yeah. And the good thing looking back for Crewe is that they got promoted with Swindon, Northampton, and Plymouth.
Did they?
Yeah, and obviously 2 of those teams are down, and Plymouth finished 10 points below Crewe, something like that.
Yeah. So what's your thingy on Crewe's season? I'd imagine you're pretty happy with that.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, and if you remember at the start of the season, I thought we would win, draw and lose the same amount of games kind of thing.
Yeah.
And we've won 18, drawn 12, lost 16. 66 points, yeah, and I thought we'd finish around 65 points. You know, if you win, draw and lose as many games, you know,
yes,
15 apiece. So, as expected, I think, it is a little bit frustrating because there was probably 3 out of our last 10 games we conceded in injury time.
Yeah.
To draw or lose. You know, so we could have been 5 or 6 points better off.
So 4 more points would have took you up to 70, so you would have been like 9th or something.
We'd have been top half, yeah.
Yeah.
I think we will struggle next year. We've got 6, 7, maybe 8 players who are out of contract, who have all been offered contracts, but they're first-team players.
Yeah.
And they will probably go somewhere else for money.
Yeah. It didn't help losing your captain, though, either, did it?
Well, we lost a captain, and then we've lost our other captain. He's now gone to Blackburn. A couple of our other kind of academy players. One is definitely looks like he's going to go to Sunderland.
Yeah.
And Charlie Kirk, Jesse, as he's the ginger Messi. Who is he the only player in professional football to score more assists and goals this season or something? Or is it to play more key passes or something like that? He's the only player to have got more than Messi or something daft like that. So he is the ginger Messi.
It's confirmed.
It is confirmed he's as good as Messi. Yeah, I think if he doesn't go this season, he'll go next. But I think we will struggle next season. Especially
when you heard it here first, guys.
Hey, you heard it here first. I think we'll fight relegation, but I think 10 to 15 points worse off.
You never know in football, mate. They could make some really good, intelligent signings and push on.
I tell you what, just as there are some good signings to be made by Championship clubs going after League One players, good players who are out of contract or they'll be able to buy for an absolute bargain, because clubs need the money.
Yes.
Same will happen the other way around, and there'll be League Two and non-league players who should be playing League One football who you'll be able to get for a bargain. Because those clubs will need the money, and those players will need money. So if we're ahead of the curve and we've got 3 or 4 players, who are out of contract or we can get on a small signing on fee, you never know. Absolutely,
backhanders.
Exactly. Yeah. So you never know. But in terms of the rest of the league, I mean, you got Rotherham and Sheffield Wednesday coming down. They're going to be top 6. As I said, Sheffield Wednesday should be top of the league. Tied that in with the fact that Portsmouth, Charlton, Ipswich, Sunderland are going to be playing League One football next year. It's going to be difficult to break that top 6.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough nut to crack.
It is, yeah.
Sunderland, you'd imagine. I mean, are they Sunderland? Who's in the League One playoff finals?
So it's Blackpool versus Lincoln.
So Sunderland aren't in it.
No, they got beaten by Lincoln in the semi-finals. Yeah, and Blackpool absolutely hammered Oxford, I think. Yeah, they beat them 3-0 and then it was 3-3, so they won 6-3 on aggregate. Yeah, and Blackpool are the informed team, so you'd expect Blackpool to do it. I think. Yeah, get promoted.
Yeah, Blackpool. We were in the Premiership, and I think they did really well in the Premiership.
Did they stay up first year?
I think they did. Yeah, I remember the first game was a complete shock to the entire league because they beat Man United, who were the champions at the time.
Yeah.
In the first game, Charlie Adams.
That was right, yeah, and they had the temporary stand, didn't they?
Yeah.
Almost poor.
Bus shelter.
Yeah, basically, bus shelter with 10,000 seats in it, yeah. World's biggest bus shelter. For me next year, I think we will be in a relegation battle.
Ooh, okay, fair enough. League Two?
League Two. We're now getting into the realms of does anyone care?
Yeah, we'll be quick on this one.
Grimsby got relegated. Cheltenham, Cambridge, Bolton got promoted.
Bolton's good because they're they've got I like Bolton Stadium. I like Bolton, and so it's nice to see them climbing up.
Yeah, one of my favourite games of all time was away at Bolton.
Yeah.
Crew won 3-1. It was the season that Danny Murphy come back to us on loan.
Oh, nice.
It was their 100th year. Exactly 100 years to the day their club was created, something like that.
And you lot ruined the party.
We ruined They were top of the league and we were bottom, and we beat them 3-1.
Yeah.
I remember it well. It was cold, wet, and horrible, but we won 3-1.
Yeah, it's always raining there.
It is, yeah. And Danny Murphy was back in a Crew shirt, so it was a good day. Yeah, in the playoffs, it's Morecambe versus Newport.
Newport,
you know this shit, Newport. Daint, you're a dick.
Let's hope for Newport for the big Daint.
For Daint. It's nothing to do with Pancho's revenge. It's got something to do with Dayton's a dick.
Boy, you freak.
That's just a reference to Dirty Sanchez, who are, I think, probably they're up there with the Beatles for me. As cultural influences, they're constantly on playing in my head. Beatles songs, Dirty Sanchez. It's just always there.
Yeah, that's his mantra.
That's my mantra. Yeah, Dayton, you're a dick. I'm not married to a man. If you've never watched Dirty Sanchez, it's like Jackass but better.
Yeah, it's just rough boys stuff.
Proper working class, 3 Welsh lads and an English bloke.
Yeah, who's needs his head feeling because he's just a psychopath.
It is. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we should get one of them on.
How good would that be?
Oh God, absolutely! You'd be talking to one of our heroes, wouldn't we?
Oh, it'd be amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. So, good luck to Newport. Perhaps they should be our adopted Welsh team.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that down. Like, talk of the terrace, adopted Welsh team is Newport. Sorry, Swansea. Sorry, Cardiff.
Yeah, sorry, Wrexham. But we're going for Newport. Wrexham. Yeah, we'll go Newport. I don't think there's anything else to say on that league, really.
Nah, nothing really.
No, we'll leave it there.
Move across the continent then to Europa.
Europa. So, which one do you want to start with?
Let's hit the first country, France.
France, French league.
What was it? Francois Liga?
Sorry to all the French people. Bonjour. Are you okay? And we're going to start off. It's the big shock in European football, is it? I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. It's Lille.
Lille, yeah.
Which is a little place outside Paris, I believe. So I'm told. Might not be.
Yeah, is that from your French connections?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
From Sharp told me, didn't he?
Sharp.
Yeah, you French bastard. Sorry, French people. I was just sub-quoting there. So how refreshing is it to see the French league at all? But how refreshing is it to see Lille at the top rather than Paris Saint-Germain? It
is, yeah. It's really good. I mean, have you had a Google of list of French league champions? I wonder how many times it's the one in a row.
I've searched for French things, but not that.
Yeah. Let's have a quiz.
I believe PSG have won it in the last 15 years. Pretty much consistency.
Right. So in the last 10 years, PSG have won it 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 out of 10. And they'd won it never. 93 was the time before that.
93?
Yeah, so they won it in 93, 94, and then nothing until 2012.
Ooh.
Money, I thought, isn't it? They've got to be bought to success. And then Lyon with a big team in the early noughties. But 7 out of the last 10 years. So it's good to see a different name on that trophy.
Yeah, because when you go across the European leagues, you probably see. I wouldn't even have to follow the teams for a season. I could just predict that in the Netherlands, Ajax are going to be top, in Germany, Bayern Munich are going to be top.
Yeah.
It's just so bloody boring.
Bloody boring. Yeah.
But this season, we've seen Rangers at top of the Scottish League, which I don't like, but there you go. And it's nice to see a new champion on the top of the French League.
It is, yeah. And I'm just looking. Lille and PSG play each other in the French Cup final soon, I believe.
Oh, Monaco are up there as well. I haven't seen them since Fabien Barthez days.
Barthez, Morientes, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He had one or two others, yeah. Yeah.
Petit Falou.
And they've got that weird spaceship stadium.
Yeah, very strange ground, yeah.
You used to see it on the Champions League, yeah. And it was mad.
I always used to set my stadium as that on FIFA.
Did you?
Yeah.
What, try and shoot it through the arches? The gaps,
yeah. Those McDonald's arches behind them, yeah. I used to chant it through there.
Yeah.
Most of them went through due to my shooting,
yeah. Dijon finished bottom.
Oh, mustards.
And Brest finished 17th.
See, that shows that English mustard is better than French because Norwich are going up and Dijon are going down.
Yeah. Norwich are the champions of mustard.
We will tweet Norwich to congratulate them later.
Yeah, you are officially the best mustards in the world. Well done to the mustards. Perhaps that we should call Norwich now, the mustards.
Yeah,
not the Canaries, the mustards.
The mustards. Well done, Colemans.
Well done, mustard. What league next?
If we move, well, depends where our invasion plans go. We could move up into Poland, or we could go straight into Germany.
Oh, let's go for Germany.
Okay, yeah, straight to the Rhineland.
Yeah, no surprises, I don't think.
And shock horror. Oh, there's one surprise.
What's that? What?
Leipzig, right back. Leipzig are right up there.
Right, big Gary Neville, Leipzig.
Yeah. And Wolfsburg. I like Wolfsburg.
Well, yeah, home of Volkswagen.
Oh, yeah, that is good.
That is good, yeah.
Which in German means the people's car.
See, we're almost fluent, aren't we?
Yeah,
we're practically fluent.
I'm pretty much German now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
is good.
That is good. Oh, look at Bayern went up 99 goals in a season in the league.
They've got 99 goals. Yeah. I won't finish that. But yeah, it's same as usual, isn't it? It's like Bayern win it. I'd love to see Dortmund at the top of there.
Yeah. It's no surprises.
Nothing against Bayern, but you're just boring.
Yeah. Let someone else win it.
Yeah, it's like when you were kids and you'd go like the Oakley Centre or something, and there was only one tractor, and the kid would go round on the tractor, and the mum would come across and say, "Give someone else a try." Yeah. That's what Bayern Munich should do.
Yeah, they need the mum to come and tell someone else to try.
They need to go and visit the Oakley Centre and Crewe and just witness,
and just give someone else a go with the tractor. Get off the tractor. Bayern Munich, get off the tractor.
Right, we're tweeting them as well.
We're tweeting them. So we've got the champions of mustard. Oh no, the Norwich are now called the mustards. And,
mustards, yeah.
Yeah, and Bayern, just get off the tractor.
Yeah. Hashtag Oakley Centre.
Hashtag Oakley Centre. If they've got a Twitter account, which will be very surprising, but if they have, they'll be thinking, what? Must be a missed tweet.
And then we'll go listen to the podcast to find out.
Yeah. Get one extra download this month by some 50-year-old who opens up the Oakley Centre every day. Probably older than 50, yeah. So, get off the tractor, Bayern.
Get off the tractor, Bayern, please.
Please.
For the sake of German football, get off the tractor.
Where should we go next on our European tour?
On our European tour, where we've got to go is Holland, is it maybe?
Holland, let's go to Holland. Okay. Next.
I'm not even going to look, but now I might be going out on a limb here. And
go on.
Ajax top.
Ting!
Yeah. Now let me try and get the next one. PSV second.
Ting!
Yeah. Don't care about third.
No. No. Who was that team that what's his name? Is it how do you spell it? Twent?
Twent. 20.
20. What was his name? McLaren. Is that who he managed? Who did he manage in Holland?
Yeah, FC 2020.
2020, and they won the league, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Did they? Oh,
yeah. I think they won. I think he won the league in Holland.
Yeah,
the only season Ajax or PSV won the league.
The players played really well.
How long?
I am the Wally with a brolly.
Yeah.
Oh, I've just googled, mate. What we need to message the Oakley Centre in Bayern Munich is "Steigen Sie aus dem Traktor." Steigen Sie aus dem Traktor.
Bayern.
Yeah, Bayern München.
Bayern München. We should do that.
Is there anywhere else in Europe we care about? Oh, Spain.
Spain. La Liga.
La Liga.
Yeah, there was, I suppose, a bit of a shock. Not as big as the French shock, but a shock.
A nice shock.
A nice shock. It makes a change to have a different name on the trophy, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, Atletico Madrid. Well, the backstory of it is Barcelona got rid of Suarez because he was deemed too old for them.
Yeah.
He went to Atletico Madrid and bagged a shed load of goals, and they won the league. So
yeah,
that's
bad
just to
bit
show
of business.
There's many an old tune can be played.
Yeah,
as many a tune can be played on an old fiddle.
An old fiddle, yeah. They messed up there big time. To be fair, both Madrids had an exceptional season. Really, only lost 4 each.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, it was kind of. I mean, even had the same form on the last 5 games.
I mean, Barca losing 7 and draw 7, that's just unheard of.
Yeah.
Years ago. That was just never going to happen.
They've basically drawn too many. They've lost too many games, haven't they?
Yeah.
And my adopted Spanish team, Valencia.
Stick your fingers up your bum and blow it out your Barcelona.
They had a pretty bad, poor season for Valencia.
Below that, Real Letis. Villarreal, who won the Europa Cup last night, are 7th.
Yeah. Well, United really blew that last night then, didn't they?
Yeah.
They were overwhelmingly favourites.
Getafe, Cadiz, Osasuna.
Cadiz. I'm not...
Should we do the Polish league?
I'd rather do the Italian league.
Racist.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we're not in the EU now, mate.
Yeah. You've got time for that. Top of the Italian league. Hey, we've gone back to the mid-90s.
We have, haven't we? Yeah.
Because Inter Milan and AC Milan are top of the leagues.
Yeah, and Juventus and Lazio and all the other usual suspects. We just need Sampdoria to kick on a bit.
Yeah, and Fiorentina to get their act in gear. My team. My Italian team.
Yeah, so we're halfway there. And Juventus, obviously, with Ronaldo, can only manage 4th.
Wow. Yeah, that's bad, isn't it?
I think he finished top goal scorer in the league, I think.
Did he? Oh, right, okay.
I think. That might be really wrong.
It's not Rocket Ronnie's fault, then, the way they've been.
No. And then, our old favourites from the start of the podcast, Atalanta.
Atalanta.
Yeah, 3rd. No surprises, though. It's good. Yeah, like you say, it's good to see the 2 Milans back at the top.
Yeah, exactly. Where they belong.
Where they belong. Is there any other European leagues? I have got one more.
Russia?
No.
Portugal?
No. They are one of our adopted teams.
Oh, not the Norwegian one, is it?
No, it's the Veikkausliiga.
Oh, yeah. Finland
with FC Honka.
How did they do?
Well, I think they lost in the semi-finals of the cup. I mean, it's obviously to do with their summer and their season or whatever. But they're only 5 games into the new season. It might be because of COVID as well. Yeah. But
the atmosphere.
But they're 11th out of 12. So not a good start for our adopted Finnish team.
It's a poor finish.
Oh, ba-bump! And we haven't even started on the weird news yet. It's a poor finish. Come on,
mercy.
Come on, the honker boys.
Yeah, come on, honk.
Honk for honker.
Honk if you want a honker.
That's another hashtag, isn't it? Honk for honker.
Honker for honker.
Honker for honker.
Honker for honker, Keith.
Yeah.
So that's mustard.
That's mustard.
Oh my god, that's got it on the brain now.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's all of the major leagues covered.
Yeah. All the mustard covered.
All the mustard covered. Yeah, I think that's it. Shall we have a little break?
Yeah, let's do that.
Pleasure.
I used to wash pots in the Red Lion pub back in Gateshead. Now I'm a member of the Royal Navy, and now I wash pots in the South Atlantic on a Class 4 destroyer. Join the Royal Navy today. Same shit, but on a ship.
So welcome back to the third part. Welcome back, yeah. So we're going to do something a little bit different in today's podcast. Apart from having an extra part, we normally just have the 3 parts, don't we?
Yeah, we're spoiling you, as it's an end of season one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're trying to go out with a bang. Yeah. What if you remember from last month, we started kind of a discussion around gambling addiction and kind of gambling addiction with looking at football in particular.
Yeah, quite an important discussion to have, considering how much it's plastered all over.
Yeah, and we were kind of a little bit shocked, weren't we, about some of the stats and there's obvious people are very scared of the impact it can have on children in particular.
Yes.
And yet kind of nothing's really been done about it, from a football perspective particularly. If you remember from last month's podcast, we said that we would kind of we would talk to someone who's a bit more familiar with this topic, rather than kind of us two novices. Just
what
before,
are you going to say then?
yeah, idiots. Us two idiots. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Before we introduce Tom F. We should apologise because we did refer to Tom as Fletch or Tom Fletcher.
Yes.
And it's actually Tom Fleming.
Dear.
Yeah, as I said, amateurs. So, Tom, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thanks very much for having me on. And interestingly enough, I have been mistaken for Tom Fletcher before, so you're not the first person to do that.
Yeah.
So please don't feel too
That's
bad about
good
it.
to know.
Yeah, is Tom Fletcher one of the guys out of McFly?
I don't know. I feel like maybe people just read the FLE and then their brain just fills in the rest.
Yeah. Once again, it just proves that we're idiots, doesn't it?
We like to do a research.
Yeah,
he is in McFly. You're right.
He is in McFly. Yeah. Yeah, which is I went to see McBusted, who are probably the best supergroup since Cream, and I really enjoyed their group. So highly recommended. Tom is joining us, Tom Fleming. We should call him Tom F. Not confused with other Tom.
Tom Tit.
Tom Tit. Tom, I mean, if you just want to give us a kind of a background about you and your involvement with the Big Step, that'd be great.
Sure. So I work for the Big Step, as you say, which is we're a sort of a campaign group, and we're part of a larger charity called Gambling with Lives. Gambling with Lives were actually set up by the parents and families who have lost loved ones and friends to gambling-related suicide, and they sort of work broadly to highlight the link between gambling addiction and suicide, which is sort of massively underplayed and actually quite frightening. So we are part of that charity, and we, broadly speaking, we sort of raise awareness around gambling harms, and specifically the role that gambling advertising within football plays in the sort of process of people becoming addicted to gambling. And for a lot of people, it's the sort of hook that it's their hook into gambling. It's their sort of entry point, if you like. We campaign essentially to get some change in the legislation, which is currently underway. I've been working with them for about 6 months now, part-time, and I'm in charge of content for the site and also kind of campaign support and communications and, doing interviews and trying to get our name out and our message out and drum up support and get some good content out there.
Excellent.
Yeah, I mean, what if you kind of what's your direct kind of engagement with gambling or gambling addiction? Is it something that you've come across directly or indirectly with your family or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I've had struggles myself. I've probably sort of gambled, I'd say recreationally for quite a while without it ever being a problem. And I got to a stage in my life where there were kind of problems in other areas, and gambling kind of took over as a sort of distraction, I suppose. I wasn't very happy at work. I was in a miserable relationship, and it really took over and took me to a fairly bad place for a few months. And luckily enough, I was able to stop with a tool called GamStop that you sign up for and register for, and it basically just logs you out of all bookies that are registered to operate in the UK, and you can't register with any new ones. So It's like an overarching third-party thing.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Yeah, it's good. It's a really good piece of kit. Because obviously with the individual gambling companies do offer self-exclusion tools, but then with the amount of gambling companies there are, you can always find another one that you haven't registered with. So this kind of is like a blanket ban. Yeah. So I was lucky enough to be able to stop with that. I didn't really, I think I was a bit ashamed about it. I didn't really tell anyone bar a few close friends. And then I heard James, who set up the Big Step, I heard him speaking on a podcast about his experiences and about what the Big Step were doing and the industry as a whole, and it sort of really resonated with me. I got in touch with him towards the back end of last year, and it's just gone from there, really. It's been a kind of realisation for me to see that it wasn't, I don't want to say it wasn't my fault, because with everything there's always an element of responsibility, but to learn how the system is set up and how it's essentially been legally allowed to set up to exploit people is really what it does at the top end when you're talking addicts and stuff.
Yeah. And that's the problem, I think, is because I watched a documentary about it, and I was shocked at the levels these companies go to in order to get people to bet. If there's this guy was at the horse racing, and the gambling company knew at the horse racing, and they put £1,000 in his account because he spent so much, which is nothing to them, but it encouraged him to gamble. And it's just practices like that are so unethical.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, so you've got along those kind of lines, you've got like VIP handlers. So if you say, I'm plucking this figure out of the air, but if you're gambling £15,000 a month with one of the big bookies, you'll be flagged by their algorithms as like a kind of a high stakes gambler, and they'll sort of essentially wine and dine you and take you to the football or whatever you bet on, give you free bets, like pop you in the box to kind of make you feel like you're valued. I suppose you are valued to them because you're spending a lot of money with them, but what that really does is it just encourages the addiction, and also it makes it incredibly hard to stop. If you're, well, why am I going to stop? They're I can't stop if I'm gonna, I'll say I want to stop, and then 3 days later there's an email saying his tickets to Man United, Liverpool, and put £1,000 bonus in your account. It's going to make it incredibly difficult to stop. It's kind of almost akin to sort of grooming in a way, I'd say.
Yeah, it's like if you're an alcoholic, someone's just sending you boxes of whiskey in the post and just saying, just a little gift from us.
Exactly, and I often use a kind of an analogy where if you're an alcoholic and you're in a pub and you're obviously pissed and you're not in a good way and you're slurring and you're kind of falling around all over the place, they shouldn't really be serving you. But it's not. Essentially, it's not the person who pulls you the pint. It's not their fault, if you see what I mean, because it's their job. But essentially what you've got with the gambling industry is, if you carry on with the alcoholic analogy, somebody going into a pub and saying, look, I'm really struggling at the minute. If I come in, please don't serve me. And then actually what they're doing in this analogy is essentially, like you say, putting 3 crates of booze on their doorstep. So it's really, it's troubling.
I suppose, it comes back to that thing you said at the start. It's to do with legislation, isn't it? We, me and Thomas spoke about this before, but kind of there's still this thing where they charge for carrier bags in supermarkets because of the pollution and the damage they're doing. Why don't governments legislate and just ban them? The problem solved overnight, and it's because the government doesn't want to be too hands-on, it seems. Also, how much is kind of government not wanting to get too hands-on because of the tax revenues they get from this industry?
Huge, probably.
There is. They do. Yeah, I mean, undoubtedly, gambling does bring in a lot in taxes, but there's also a lot of research that actually indicates that it's far outweighed by the kind of wider societal costs of gambling.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna pull up an article so I can quote it properly and do it justice.
If people are losing their houses and stuff.
Exactly, yeah. So there was a study in Sweden that found the societal cost of gambling in the whole country was 1.4 billion euros, which is 0.3% of the entire GDP. Wow. And actually, that within that cost of gambling, only 13% were direct costs, like things like direct costs are like addiction treatment, debt, counselling, prison. But actually, most of the cost further down the line, I think 59% were attributed to things like absence from work, unemployment, reduced workplace activity, even suicide in some cases. So actually, there's a very strong argument to say, of course, gambling does bring a lot of money into the economy, but if you were theoretically to ban it outright, which, just for clarification, we're not asking for, we don't think it should be banned outright, but if you were hypothetically to ban it outright and all that revenue disappeared, then it wouldn't actually, in the longer run, it wouldn't make a difference financially. We'd actually be better off because of all the indirect costs that come later down the line in addiction and stuff.
Yeah.
Like you say, I don't think you can ban it outright because it'd just end up like the 1920s with prohibition, where it'd go underground and everything.
Exactly.
Yeah. But there's definitely got to be some regulations in order to restrict. I mean, like I've seen on these adverts where they say, "Oh, set your limits," but that's still, you're asking a gambling addict to set his own limits. There's still that interaction there, and you can just remove them as quick as he adds them.
Yeah, exactly, and they don't really work. Those the safer gambling messages, they're like, when the fun stops, stop. There's a lot of research been done into those, and they just don't work. Like they're just kind of lip service, really, on behalf of the industry.
Yeah, and it's just trying to cover the backs, aren't they?
Yeah, and it also highlights a kind of wider issue that is also part of the problem, is that gambling is seen, it's perhaps treated a bit differently to other addictions. People sometimes refer to it as like the silent addiction or the invisible addiction because there's no real physical symptoms. But if you think about it, compared to perhaps drinking, drugs and smoking, where people are sort of well aware of the dangers, people are a lot less aware of the dangers of gambling. And I mean, that's just kind of contributing to a real mess, basically. And even in the term that, so for gambling addiction, the term that is widely used is problem gambler. And even in that term, you can see that
Yeah.
kind of places emphasis on the individual, which are what all these responsible gambling controls do, saying you should be able to gamble responsibly and you can set your limits. But as you rightly pointed out, you can't set your limits if you're addicted.
Yeah.
And it's actually, it just highlights a kind of, obviously the gambling industry are keen to push that narrative, but some of the products they design, in particular sort of online slots, some of those have been found to have addiction rates of around 50%, which is actually slightly higher than heroin. So the reality is, if everybody tries these games, around half the people who get addicted to them, half the people who play, will become addicted. It's not their fault. This game has been designed by very clever people to elicit some kind of response in your brain with dopamine and serotonin when you see the lights and the design and the colours and the sounds. It's all very kind of clever and shady, but it's all at the minute legally allowed to happen, really.
Yeah. I think one of the big things is as well is the accessibility, because if you're addicted to drink or smoking or anything, you can just go. You'd have to go out your house, go to the pub, go to the shop or whatever. Same with drugs, you'd have to go to the back of a corner shop or wherever. But with gambling, there's just instant accessibility. You just have to pick up your phone and there you go. You don't go to the bookies anymore. Well, most people don't. But,
Exactly. It's sort of made it, I'd say, it's made it accessible. It's brought it to the middle classes, really, the gambling on your phone. Because, if you look at all the adverts and stuff, like the Ladbrokes apps are always, the adverts, they're always, there are always a few lads in a pub, like probably mid-20s. They're all kind of airbrushed and having a nice time, and they're all, none of them are kind of miserable and chasing losses. But if you walk down to go into a betting shop on a Saturday afternoon, like, they're quite often quite bleak places, aren't they? There's a lot of people who are unhappy in there. Like, there's quite often violence. There's screens up. I know, obviously, with COVID now there have to be screens up, but before then there are security screens up behind in front of the cashier. And they're kind of in total contrast, really, to the vision that we're presented with in adverts and stuff and marketing.
So I suppose then, what are what's the future then? Is this kind of issue going to get worse before it gets better? Is legislation going to be passed, this year? So
essentially, there was a little bit of kind of history on it all. There was before 2005, it was quite strictly regulated in this country. Like, we just had 30 years of Margaret Thatcher and John Major, who were quite kind of on the right of the Tory party, and they were sort of opposed to gambling, I believe, on moral grounds. And then you get Tony Blair's New Labour come in, who are sort of on the right of Labour, I suppose, and they're kind of free marketeers. They say, we can't have these regulations, so we can't regulate the market, etc., It'll regulate itself. So they enacted a legislation called the Gambling Act in 2005. It's called the 2005 Gambling Act, but it wasn't actually enacted until 2007. And what that did essentially was open the floodgates to advertising, sponsorship, marketing, everything, which is kind of creating the problem where we've ended up today. And thankfully, that piece of legislation is currently under review, because it's a lot of it kind of relates to advertising and stuff, and it's an analog act masquerading in a digital world, really. Like, I don't think YouTube was invented in 2005 when the act was drawn up, and now Sky Sports do the free highlights for all the Premier League games on YouTube a couple of hours after they finished. If you go on and watch one, like, you always have to watch a gambling advert, and I've noticed that you never seem to be able to skip them after 5 seconds. You have to watch the whole thing. I know they're often quite short, but some of them are a bit longer.
Yeah,
must pay a lot more for that.
Exactly. So that act is currently being reviewed. There was a call for evidence earlier this year where it's the Departure for Culture, Media and Sport, the government department, who are handling the review, and that they asked during this call for evidence, they were asking for people from their industry or anyone they wanted both sides of the argument, so people who've been affected by gambling, people who felt strongly about it, to supply evidence in the form of like answers to written questions. That ended on the 31st of March, and they're currently kind of reviewing everything now, and we're hoping that there will be some announcements later this year, possibly towards the end of summer, maybe August, September time. And yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, what's kind of your understanding of the legislation that might be passed? Will it go far enough? Is it going to work?
It's incredibly sort of complex, the legislation, as you might imagine, and the bits that have the parts of it that have allowed different parts of the kind of gambling industry to flourish and exploit people are all in kind of different areas. But in the big step, we're primarily concerned with advertising and sponsorship, and we're quietly confident that we're going to get a shirt sponsorship ban, which will be good. I don't think that will instantly kind of solve everything. It won't, but I think do play a massive role in children, like, you know, watching football from an early age, and you just get these logos, and then you kind of gambling age at 18, and yeah, we think that has a big impact. So we'd be happy to see them go. I don't think we'll get everything we want from the review, as it's a powerful industry to go up against. They do they have a lot of money, so they have a lot of power. But yeah, I think that just gives us cause to carry on going, really, and carry on fighting. I think there's been quite a lot of positive pro-reform stuff in the news lately. I think you mentioned earlier that you'd seen a lot around this year, and I think there's a kind of growing change in the tide of public opinion at the minute.
Yeah, absolutely. I suppose kind of the final question on this is that while we wait for legislation to be passed, and and depending on how far it goes, what can ordinary people do? What can our listeners and people outside of this do?
Absolutely. So we've currently talking as the big step. We are currently calling on all broadcasters to suspend gambling ads during their coverage of Euro 2020, which is obviously coming up next month. And football's been throughout the pandemic, really, well, since it restarted last June. I think football's been a kind of beacon of hope for a lot of us. And we don't think that it should be used as a billboard to plaster gambling ads on. So we have an open letter for that on our website, which you can find and sign. The website is the-bigstep.com, and you'll see there's a section there to sign our open letter. We also have a petition that we're calling on the government to end all gambling ads and sponsorship in football, which, again, you can find that on our website. And we are also, the way the Big Step started was it started off as a fundraising walk a few years ago, and we've kind of gone from strength to strength in that time. And we're actually walking from Scotland to London ahead of the Euros next month.
God.
We don't expect people to join us for that because it's 10 days, 300 miles slog. But alongside this kind of main walk, we are holding we call it a remote walk that we started. A walk over that week. You turn the app on and it will track your steps. Like, even if you're just walking to the shops or going around the park or going out to the country for a walk in your local area, download that app, then all those steps will count towards our total in the end. So that would be really helpful for us. Again, the link to that is on our website. When we did our last one in March, which was our fourth walk overall, because it was at kind of peak COVID then, so we could only really walk in our local areas, we figured out that if we were to walk to every football club in the UK and Scotland, it would be Scottish Premier League or the Championship, who had a gambling shirt sponsor partner, that would have been 1,137 miles. So
wow.
In March, 37 miles. between about 300 people. We walked about over 3,000 miles over that weekend, which again shows that the tide is turning. And before, we'd only really have people who'd been affected by gambling personally themselves taking part in the walks. But in March, there was a lot of people who were either affected others, so maybe a close friend or family member had struggled, or they hadn't been personally affected by it, but they just felt strongly that there does need to be change and reform, so they joined in.
Excellent. Well, we'll have to keep an eye on your progress with that and retweet around the time of the tournament.
Yeah, that'd be great. Anything would be great.
Yeah, and if, as we can contribute in in our small kind of way, we will keep supporting this cause because it does seem to be something that is really kind of, it's a pandemic in itself. I think is a way to look at it. As Tom just said, head over to the-bigstep.com and some more news on there. I suppose before we kind of depart and let you go, Tom, as you know, our next segment is we talk about weird news. We were wondering if you've got a short kind of weird news headline or story you'd like to present to us.
I've actually got a couple. Well, the first one's just a headline, really. I was after you'd said that this was a segment on the show, I was looking out for some, and I was on the train home from London to Somerset the other day, and it was on Wednesday, and I just saw someone had left an paper behind, and the headline was "Number 10 cancels accidental lockdowns," which I thought was quite kind of summed up 2020 and 2020. And then this
sounds about right.
This morning, when I was on my news browse in the morning, I came across a headline that said, "Caught by his love of Stilton, drug dealer jailed after cheese picture analysed for prints."
Oh God, I saw this. Yeah.
And when I clicked on it, the man has been jailed for 13 years after his fingerprints were analysed from a photo on a block of cheese.
What?
I think the guy was a drug dealer. He was using an encrypted chat, obviously to sell drugs. And on the encrypted chat, he posted a picture of, it's actually Marks and Spencer's mature blue Stilton in his hands, but it's a really close-up picture. So I think they've obviously been able to use some image recognition software to get his prints from the picture and then tie him to a load of crimes and put him in jail for 13 years.
That's genius, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
So there you go.
Any puns for that one, James?
Oh, I mean, what a cheesy story.
How dare he?
How dare he? Oh, yeah. That's a lot better than what a cheesy story.
That's a good one.
Meant to be.
Yeah. I don't think we can top that.
No, I don't think that's it. No, I think we broke the mould.
It was mature blue Stilton, you could probably go on something like "he'll be feeling very mature" or something along those lines.
That wasn't very mature of him. Yeah.
He must be feeling pretty blue.
Yeah.
Must be feeling cheesed off. Hours of fun. Yeah. Well, as always, we like to end with a pun. But back to the serious kind of topic at hand. Please head to the-bigstep.com and kind of keep up to date with it. This is a really important cause that we're going to champion as much as we can over the coming months, and hopefully only over the coming months rather than years, I suppose. Thanks Tom. Hopefully we'll stay in touch and keep doing our little bit. Thank you very much for your time, Tom.
I know, thanks for having me on. It's been good to chat.
Some good weird news there as well. You're in the club.
You're in the club, yeah. We'll send you the badge. Yeah.
Thanks, lads. Cheers.
Cheers, Tom.
Cheers. Okay, let's move to a break.
Let's have a break, eh?
In this week's episode of The Only Way is Melbourne, Warney and Sheila head out of town, but do they finally get some time alone? Oh, Shane, it's beautiful here.
It's not as beautiful as you, Sheila.
Oh, Shane.
Ah, Sheila, shall we get down to it?
But Shane, every time we get down to it, we get disturbed, and I hate it.
Love, we're on the top of bloody Ayers Rock. There's no one around here for miles. We'll be fine.
Oh, Shane.
Oh, Sheila. Oh, I feel like Les Hurley.
Shane, is that a didgeridoo in your pocket?
Nah, that's just me bushwhacker, love.
Shane, what's that noise? Is there someone here?
Hold on, let me go and investigate. Okay. Crikey, what are you doing here, fellas?
Hello. Welcome back to the final part of the Talk of the Terraces football podcast. The final part of our regular season.
Yeah, the final part of the regular season before we're going off our pre-season tour.
Our pre-season tour of Liverpool's bars and pubs. For our regular listeners, they will know that this is where we most of the time we don't talk about football anyway. No, but we really
listen to that.
Yeah, he wants to, yeah. But yeah, we really go off topic in this next part of the show. And as the regular listeners will know, this is where we talk about weird news in our classic albums.
Yes.
Yeah. And today I've got the weird news, and Tom has got his classic album.
It's a cracker.
It's a cracker. And just so you know, our listeners know, I've discovered not a new band. I have heard of them before, but I've only just kind of started listening to one of their albums in the last couple of weeks. And it is that good, and I think Tom will like it that much. I've kept it a secret from him.
You've been keeping secrets from me.
So at the end of the podcast, I will reveal to Tom, just so I can use it as my classic album.
Have you got your drums in there? Can you do a drum roll or anything?
I haven't, unfortunately, no. No, I've got a really badly tuned electric guitar, though, so I don't think that'll have the same effect. So yeah, I will go ahead with my weird news,
Go for it,
if that's okay.
That's fine.
And I've built Tom up with this over the last couple of days, because I think one of these, kind of the not necessarily the headline, but the opening paragraph is an absolute cracker.
That's a cracker.
It's a cracker. But I'm going to go with the lesser of the two stories first. I'm going to build up to the to the main one.
Build suspense.
So both of these stories are off the metro.co.uk. And they both involve English people. But this is a couple actually from Sheffield who are living over in France now, an elderly retired couple.
Okay.
And the headline reads, "Couple find out absolutely gorgeous pate they were eating was cat food." So there's as I say, a couple from Sheffield who've retired to a sleepy village in France, and they've admitted their French is not very good, and they struggle to understand what's on the labels of the food. So they've been buying this tin and thinking it was lovely pate, but it's actually cat food. The thing is that on the picture of the tin is a picture of a cat, but they just thought it was just a French thing.
It's just like pates, like cats like pates.
Yeah, and it basically says in French gourmet mousse. So yeah, apparently the daughter went over to stay with them, and they cracked open the pate, and she was like, "What?" As you do, and she said, "That's not pate, that's cat food," of which the elderly mother found hilarious, but her dad or her stepdad was not very happy about it.
I bet
he thought he said, "Are you trying to poison me?"
Did you have to pause for a moment?
Oh, there we're on. Yeah. Yeah, you can't give them a pate on the back, can you?
No, you can't.
Apparently, in England, is it called shipman's paste or something? And they thought this was quite similar to it.
It's got bad connotations in itself.
Yeah, shipman's. Yeah.
Oh
So,
my God!
so that's
How
my.
have you noticed that?
I mean, you'd have thought that when it was on the shelf next to Whiskers, you know, and a big bag of dog treats with a Labrador on the front and some cat litter, you would kind of assume that was part of the pet food range.
Well, yeah, you would. Well, you're basing on its assumption, aren't you? So yeah.
I know, I'm being really assumptuous there, aren't I?
Who do you think? Who the hell do they think they are? Queen of Sheba? And we're off.
So yeah, that's the first of the two headlines.
Love it, absolutely love. God bless him.
God bless him. Yeah, when I said I had two good stories, you said, "Oh, it's not the Russians up to it again, is it?" No, it's the good old British who were top of the league this month. Expats, yeah. Oh, right, here we go.
You have bigged this up.
I have bigged this up. So once again, this is on the Metro, and I won't read the headline. I will read the first paragraph.
Okay.
Here we go. I've got to try and say this without smiling or laughing as I'm reading it. A police officer could lose his job today after he told a female PCSO he stirred her tea with his penis.
Oh my God.
As soon as I saw that, I thought that is he claimed he was having a bit of a laugh, and that he misjudged the friendship with his victim. He's actually he thought, we're close enough. I can stir a cup of tea with my penis.
So he thought, you know what'd be funny?
Yeah. Seeing as we're such good mates and we have a bit of banter.
Yeah, I tell you what she'd like getting along well. It's going, friendship's going well. Could blossom, you never know. Tell you what she'd love. Knob cheese and.
I mean, it says here he told the female PCSO he stirred her tea with his penis. I wonder if he waited for her to have a drink.
Yes.
And then you never guess what I've just done.
Yeah. How's the tea?
Yeah. Oh, it's lovely.
It's lovely. Yeah, there's a lot of milk in it.
Oh no.
God.
Oh no. He's been put in front of a disciplinary panel, and obviously, if he gets found guilty, I'm guessing he will lose his job as a police officer.
Well, so much brewing then, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, how much did he put in? Did he just put in his PG tip?
Yeah, he's a bit of a mug, isn't he? Yeah. And as I told you, this story does take quite a dark twist as you keep reading through it.
Oh no!
He seems to be like that one pervert you get at work who, do you know what I mean?
Who doesn't know when? Yeah.
Yeah, and it looks like allegedly he's got quite a history of doing things that you shouldn't
Sexual
do.
Abuse to cups.
Yeah, and some really weird stuff, which. Yeah, so
I think that's probably the weirdest thing he could have done.
Oh yeah, it really has like topped it off. Yeah. It's like once he's done that, it's like right, we need to report him.
Yeah,
this has gone a bit too far.
Oh mate, I love that.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my weird news.
That is fantastic.
Yeah,
that is absolutely fantastic. I love that, mate. I think you've won weird news.
Yeah, I mean we've had some crackers over the last few weeks. The one with the Irish photographer who was tied to a fence post which was last month was a cracker. And I think you had the other one, didn't you, with the weird alien who was actually a croissant.
Oh yes,
the weird tree creature, which was an absolute classic.
I'm an alien.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've had some really good ones. We've had plenty of material the last year.
We've had some beauties, haven't we?
Yeah, the woman who married her briefcase and things like that.
It's been a good year for weird news.
It has been. It must be due to COVID.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
people are locked in, bored, and they want to stick the dick in cups.
Yeah, so and it just finds its way onto this podcast. So yeah, that's my weird news for the last episode of this season.
Fantastic. So to close off, then, should we do album of the month?
Let's do it.
Right. I did have a thingy of a couple of albums I wanted to do this month, but they kind of, one of them was a Beatles album. I thought I've already done a Beatles album and everything, so I was trying to think back to when, because music is about reminiscence and you can remember being younger and everything like that, and so I wanted to put in an album that really got me into music in a big way when I was growing up, and when I was in my late teens, early 20s and stuff. And it is Up the Bracket by the Libertines.
Yeah, it's up there, isn't it, mate?
Yeah, because when we were younger, about 2002, 2003, 2004, a lot of the bands that were out were just kind of mediocre. A lot of people, including myself, used to listen to slightly older music like Nirvana and everything.
Yeah.
And dig back into the past, for, like The Who, the Beatles and everything, for musical inspiration. But then this band come along, who were just a complete breath of fresh air. They were raw, with punk elements. They were original. Amazing... I was going to say musicians, but not probably as amazing. But great, absolutely beautiful songwriting and great wordsmanship on the songs. Really good partnership. Unbelievable drummer. In the band. And this album was their debut album. And sadly, they were only, at that time, they only released 2 albums before they split up.
Yeah.
So the band, as people know, the band was fronted by Pete Doherty and Carl Barat. And they got a lot of press from magazines such as NME and Zane Lowe on MTV2, I think it was at the time.
Yeah.
As they wouldn't get much of a shoeing elsewhere, and also on the Mark and Lard show on Radio 1. That's where I think I first properly heard them.
Yeah.
And it was just like a fun about the songs were really nice, really melodic, clever, well crafted. Like Time for Heroes is just the 4th track on the album is just like a ballad. It's just such a great song, and it even went as far as appearing in an American Pie film, I think. American Pie.
Oh, did it?
Or something. Yeah.
Right.
So it was a band that got quite international acclaim, and Up the Bracket was just it's phenomenal. Like when I was in the band, like I wanted like our sound to be like the Libertines, and it was in a way, wasn't it? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thoughts on that one?
I mean, yeah, it is an absolute classic, isn't it? It is.
Yeah.
Like you said, I think up until that point, we were kind of on the 3rd and 4th albums of bands from the 90s.
Yeah, exactly. Like Oasis. I remember 2 bands in that period that really impressed me, and one was the Coral and one was the Libertines.
Exactly, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
Were the Coral just before?
Just before they were, yeah.
Just before? Yeah, because you're quite right. When I first started into playing music, it was that thing of wanting to sound like the Coral.
Yes.
And then, yeah, exactly. It was then that thing of wanting to be like the Libertines, really.
Yeah. Exactly.
And like you say, it was because we were of that age where we were, 18, 19...
yeah, long time ago.
long time ago. Yeah, that just tells you how old we are. Yeah, and you desperately wanting to attach yourself to bands of your time, you know, and like say the Coral, the Libertines come along,
Yeah, you love the bands of the past, but at the same time, you wanted it something modern, with a modern twist on it, on about modern things.
Exactly, yeah. And we were really blessed, really, at that time. Loads and loads of great bands come out around there.
Exactly, yeah. It was really good time for music, that was.
It was a really good time. And as I think we've said before, the reason there was so much music come out, or guitar-based music come out at that time, is because they were all kind of 13, 14 when Oasis and Blur and Suede and Pulp, all those type of bands were, at the peak of their powers, really.
Yeah, so they wanted to emulate the stuff that they'd heard in the 90s, basically, didn't they?
Exactly, yeah, and they were of that age where they were in their early 20s, and they were influenced by guitar music.
Yeah, and you're like, oh wow, what a, like, I think Pete Doherty's first interviews was when he wasn't even famous, when he was queuing up outside somewhere for tickets for Oasis or something.
It was to buy Be Here Now, wasn't it?
Be Here Now, yeah.
Yeah.
That's it, yeah. He was queuing up and he got interviewed and he was come across very random but very eloquent.
Yeah.
Of course, around Pete Doherty there is like his private life and the drugs and all that kind of stuff, but you can't judge a book by its cover. You have to realise that he may be a flawed person, but also he's an amazing musician. So.
And this is the thing, isn't it? I think a lot of people, he become bigger than the band, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. The caricature of Pete Doherty.
Exactly, and it's like that with like the Sex Pistols, isn't it? With Sid Vicious and things like that.
With Kate Moss and all that kind of stuff, it's just become a bit of a carnival, really. Yeah,
he was like the most rock and roll person dating the most rock and roll model in the world, kind of thing. Yeah, and so we went to see them when he was with Baby Shambles, weren't we? Right at the start of that.
Yeah, the Isle of Wight festival. We saw him, and that was a real turning point as well, to be able to see him live, and it was absolutely fantastic gig, that one.
Yeah, and we were obviously just in awe. He was kind of like the king of the British guitar music at that time,
exactly,
wasn't he?
Right.
The thing is, though, now thinking about it, so you're looking at this period of time, and you've got these great bands and great albums who were obviously influenced by the 90s.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think now, what bands have come out that have been influenced by this era that we're talking about now?
Yeah.
And I know that
Can't think of many.
I know that we're kicking on a bit, and it's probably not our age group, but
yeah, we're still keeping ear to the ground, kind of thing. But I can't really fathom or think of anyone that's impressed me.
No, I can only think that just due to the nature of how music is now, I just think that there's just no working class bands really of this era. How do you rate then? Kind of, you obviously had the Coral, then the Libertines, and then the Arctic Monkeys kind of come out with their debut album
basically
off the back of that, and then they kind of become Britain's biggest band, I suppose.
Yeah.
How do you rate the Libertines out of all those bands? Are they the best band of that period for you?
I think so. Yeah, for me, they're pretty much the best band. I mean, the Arctic Monkeys come along and they were much better musicians, great songwriters, fantastic tunes, but it starts off with the conception for me. And the Libertines will probably say it themselves, they were inspired heavily by the Strokes. So
yeah,
that kind of cool fashion, kind of rock and roll kind of stuff. So yeah,
that's a good point actually, isn't it? That they were Britain's answer to the Strokes, weren't they? Really?
Pretty much, yeah. It's always the same with Britain and America. It's like anything you can do, I can do better. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, how do you kind of rate this album up against their second one, or do you rate the second one? I
really do love the second one. I would rate that. I mean, Can't Stand Me Now, Don't Look Back Into the Sun, like two of my favourite songs. But with this one, it was the rawness of it. It was very much because they were starting out, and the first albums are always usually better because they're trying to get signed. On the second one, you could kind of tell they were falling apart a bit.
Yeah. In
some of the words, songs, and yeah, but this one was just brilliant. And the non-album track or the B-side, What a Waste, it was brilliant. I used to love that.
I think it's probably my favourite song on the album. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I Get Along in Vertigo. Yeah.
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
But like you say, it's absolutely littered with singles, I suppose.
Yeah.
And the sad thing is that I don't think they had a lot of commercial success, did they really?
Not monetary wise, I don't think they did. No, they did.
No.
they had their albums and they did touring as usual, but stateside, like the song appeared in American Pie, but I don't think they went on any big American tour. I don't think they could actually in America because Pete Doherty had a criminal record, maybe.
Yeah, was that from? Well, it was drugs, but didn't he kind of burgle Carl's house and get sent to prison for that or something?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Just absolutely bonkers, isn't it?
Random.
It is. It's a, yeah. It was. It is. Libertines was a circus, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was just. It was a shambles. I wouldn't have called it baby shambles.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. What did you think to Carl's kind of equivalent to baby shambles? Was it Dirty Pretty Things?
Yeah. The thing is, I thought I got the album. Waterloo to Anywhere, was it?
Waterloo something, yeah.
Waterloo, yeah.
Yeah.
I got the album. I liked it, but it just didn't have that edge with Pete on the songwriting or anything. It was good music and everything. And it, I was a big Oasis fan at the time, and Liam called them Dirty Posh Boys. It kind of cemented in my mind. Then.
Yeah. I think that's one thing I always think about, is that if you take the best 6 songs from Baby Shambles' first album, the best 6 of Dirty Pretty Things, what a third album they would have had.
I know.
Especially if they could have collaborated on one another's songs as well.
Yeah, if they'd just got it together and stuff, it would have been brilliant.
Yeah, and I think Libertines have gone on to make a 3rd or 4th album now, have they not? I'm guessing, though, that it's not going to have the same kind of feeling of, these two guys in their 30s now.
Yeah, that's it, and it starts to go then. Yeah, I know a lot of people argue me and say, "Oh, the Towers of London were the best band of that era," but yeah, I think the Libertines probably.
Yeah, and what was his name?
Johnny Terraces or something like that.
It was something like that. Was he on Nevermind the Buzzcocks? Was it?
Yeah, he made a complete arse of himself, didn't he?
Yeah, he was. He was an idiot. He was trying to be Pete Doherty caricature, but not very good at it.
No, he was terrible.
He was terrible.
He was trying to be Sid Vicious and Liam Gallagher rolled into one, but yeah, it was just
Yeah, the problem is I don't think he had the talent to go with.
No.
Yeah.
Just breaking news as well. I've got on my phone. Sheffield United have appointed Slava Jovanovic as their manager.
Who's that?
No, I thought he was a player. Slavosaj Jokanovic.
Slavosaj. I don't know who he is.
No.
And it's official, isn't it?
Slavosaj Jokanovic, Serbian footballer. And now he's head coach.
Sheffield United.
He was associate football manager of Fulham for a while.
Fulham. Oh right, okay.
I'm sure he used to play for us, for Liverpool.
He played for Chelsea quite a bit.
Oh, that might have been it. Yeah, he might have been Chelsea.
I mean, saying that though, I don't know if I can believe his Wikipedia page, because it says for Chelsea he played 39 games and scored 352 goals.
I tell you what, that is impressive, isn't it?
10 goals a game. What an average. Yeah.
What's an average? That's
why
amazing.
have we not heard of him?
I know.
Yeah.
He's incredible.
Wow. Up the bracket, wow, what an album. What an absolute album.
Yeah. So that's my album of the month.
Album of the month. Great pick, my friend.
You cool cats out there.
Yeah. I hope that most of our listeners have listened to that one. If not,
I'll give it a listen.
Give it a listen, yeah, and just try and ignore kind of the circus that was Pete Doherty and just listen to the music, I suppose.
Put that out your head of that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And just focus on the music.
Yeah.
Just let the music pump them full of lead.
Pump them full of lead. Well, I think we don't need to do an official sign-off, do we? Because we'll be back in a few weeks, and then we'll be back properly in a couple of months.
I thought we were going to both sing The Sound of Music.
No, I've got a bad throat.
So I've been practicing for nothing. All right.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot to tell you. Sorry.
So long.
It's only a brief goodbye, isn't it? It's a short goodbye. Yeah,
it's kind of a see you later.
See you later.
Yeah, not an Auf Wiedersehen, but a tschüss.
Yeah, Österreicher, tschüss. I don't know what that means, but that's what the German teacher always used to say. Österreicher, choose.
Is it until next time? We'll see you later.
Yeah, it might mean that. Yeah, I used to think she was telling us to put our chairs under the table. Choose.
That just reminds me of League of Gentlemen when he goes, "See you next year, Justin."
Choose.
If you not understand any of my sayings, come to me and I will take you in my German mouth.
Yeah, so I think that's it, mate.
That's it. Another season.
Another season done. We'll be back for a special in a month's time. We'll be off for a month, and then we'll be back with our hotly anticipated predictions.
Yep, and with our live pre-season friendly as well.
Oh, of course, yeah. We will communicate our pre-season tour.
Yeah.
Of Liverpool. Probably July time.
Yes.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Lockdown depending.
Yeah. Have you had your jab, by the way?
I've got it booked next week.
You got it booked next week. Cool.
Yeah, exactly. It's quite easy to find it to get jabbed in Crewe.
yeah. You are going down the official route, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah. But then my second one's in Macclesfield. What the hell?
Is it? Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, you don't need to.
Don't need to know Tom's medical history.
Yeah, exactly. My notes are available on www.
medicalrecords.com. Yeah, so let's catch up again in a month's time for our special. We haven't decided what content is going to be in there.
Yeah,
probably roughly the same, I'd imagine.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Talk about the Euros and then talk about some weird news in classic albums, I think.
Hopefully we'll have an announced team by then, so we can cross-match that with who should have gone and who shouldn't have gone.
Who should and who shouldn't, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Who touched who first?
Yeah. Hopefully no one's conducting themselves like the previous police officer.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm going to go and make a brew now, but I'm a bit hesitant.
Yeah, if you feel the urge, step away from the cup.
Yeah, PC Love Lamps about.
Yeah. Don't get involved, Tom. Don't get involved.
Cool.
So, see you later, everyone.
See you later.